Okay, this video is to review adding and subtracting, which we've definitely done before, but I want to go back and revisit it so you can compare it to solving. With solving, you're trying to get rid of the fractions. With adding and subtracting, you're trying to make the denominators match. You're keeping the fractions. So there's a lot of similarities, but they definitely are different. So the first thing we would need to do is figure out the least common multiple, which in this case, between the 3 and the 9 would be 9, and then there'd be 1x. This first fraction, the denominator already matches the least common multiple, so I'm not going to change it. The second one, this doesn't, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by that number. So it's not like clearing the fractions where you just do it once. You're doing actually top and bottom by this. So this is going to give us 7 over 9x plus 3 over 9x. Now that the denominators match, now you can add them together. 7 plus 3 is 10, and my denominator would be 9x. Now, if 10 and 9 could reduce, you would, but they don't, so we can't. Okay, let's try the next one. The least common multiple between 6 and 6x would be 6x. This first fraction, the denominator matches, so I'm not going to change it. But the second one, it doesn't, so it's missing an x, so I'm multiplying top and bottom by the x. So on top, I get 7x. On the bottom, we get 6x. Plus, over here, this one doesn't need to change. Now I can add them together. My denominator stays the same, and I just add my numerators. Okay, these are not like terms, so I can't add them together. The 7x plus 1 is a group because it has a plus or a minus symbol in it. Okay, I don't have a matching group on the bottom. It cannot reduce. That is my final answer. Okay, let's look over here at the next one. Over here, to be able to add, I need to have common denominators. But to figure out the least common multiple of the denominator, everything has to be factored. So this is going to factor to x minus 6, x plus 3. So now I know my least common multiple, having everything represented as x minus 6, x plus 3. This second fraction is exactly what I need. I'm not going to change it. But this first fraction needs to be multiplied by x plus 3 on both the top and the bottom. On the top, we're actually going to multiply and distribute it. So that would give me 2x squared plus 6x plus 7x plus 21 all over. With the denominator, you leave it factored as the least common multiple. The next fraction is minus, and then the denominators match. Okay, and it's just minus an x. If you want, you can change it to plus a negative. Now that the denominators match, now we can combine them all into one fraction. So I have the 2x squared, 6 and 7 is 13, minus 1 would be 12x, and then plus 21. Okay, now we don't know if the top factors, so we're going to have to check. This is when we wouldn't just kind of know off the top of our heads. So 2x would be x and x, because right now it can't factor because I don't have groups. The top is not factored, only the bottom is. Okay, 21 would be 3 and 7. So if I do 3 and 7, that's 3x and 14x. That's not going to give me 12. If I did it this way, I'd get 7x and 6x. Ooh, that will give me 12. Or, oh, that'll give me 13. That's not going to work either. So what I've come to find out is that's not going to factor. So therefore, it can't simplify. So that is my only answer. All right. It won't let me access any other pins, I don't think. So we're just going to go with blue again. Okay, on the next one, my denominators are x plus 9 and x. So my least common multiple is going to be x and x plus 9. So on the first fraction, it has the x plus 9, but it's missing the x. This one has the x, but it's missing the x plus 9. So again, when I add and subtract, I'm not clearing the fractions. I'm trying to make their denominators match, and my answer will be a rational fraction. So over here, 5 times x is 5x. On the denominator, it will always be my least common multiple. The other thing we need to remember about adding and subtracting is we don't ever reduce until we get to our final answer and get one fraction. Okay, this is going to give me 5x plus 45, and this is x times x plus 9. We always leave the denominator factored. Okay, now I can make this into one fraction. So I can take out, or excuse me, I combine 5 and 5 would be 10x plus 45. Okay, now I want to see if this reduces. Well, this does factor. I can take out a 5. And if I take out a 5, 10 divided by 5 is 2x. 45 divided by 5 is 9. So I do have the 2x. I do have the 9, but the 2x and x don't match. They're not an exact match. So on your quiz, your test, you could leave this as either or. Okay, so again, solving, clearing the fractions, adding and subtracting, keeping the fractions with common denominators. Both are done with the least common multiple. But for adding and subtracting, you just need to figure out what's missing. With clearing the fractions, you're going to multiply it by the entire least common multiple and then cancel out the overlap.